Hey, it's Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and it is Wednesday. It's February the 25th. This will be our chart lesson for today, and it's really early. It's just prior to lunchtime, but we're getting a heck of a snowstorm here where I'm at, and you know how it is in the south. The roads will be so slick you can't drive shortly. So I'm gonna uh, close up for the day and get out of here. So I thought I'd just do a real quick chart lesson just to show you what I saw through this point. It's really a kind of a range day. We started off with a downtrend. Um, we had a little break here. We tried to go lower a few times, and we've just been headed up ever since. So not much happening really. I don't know if the weather's got the whole place shut down or um, just the fact that there's just not much volatility, not much movement right now. I haven't really paid attention to the weather elsewhere, but Um, yeah, I haven't looked at the weather, but I'm guessing that this probably the whole southeast is probably um, getting pounded the same way we are here. But anyway, you know how it is in the south. We don't have snow equipment. We don't hardly ever get snow. So when you get a little, even a light dusting, everything shuts down and everybody goes home. So I'm going to join the crowd. I don't want to get stuck here at the office overnight. Anyway, let's talk about the few trades I saw this morning. Not much happening. Pretty standard kind of morning. It looks like a range day. We're trying to work higher. There was actually a second entry long here that I didn't circle, but you can see right there. There's a nice second entry long. This looks like this may be a midline, um, and it could be that the trend really didn't start till here. So there's a little shorter term trend working up right here. Bigger picture, we may have a two-tier here, and it could just be a range day and we're headed to the other side. But this looks pretty legit right here. This short here, I really played off of the little range here. But let me talk about the trades real quick, and then we'll move on, and I'll wrap it up for today. But anyway, we're working down here early on. You can see I drew the trend line off the first two swings. We got a two-legged pullback to the trend line, a nice second entry short here. Notice the new low, pullback first entry, pullback second entry. So a nice second entry short. There's also somewhat of a failed second entry long here. Notice this pullback first entry, pullback second entry. So it's right at the open. They always tend to trap people, but just follow the price action because it tends to tell you which way to go more times than not. And this looks a little like a doji, but look how prices closed down here one tick off the very low. I could have easily closed the other way. I like this setup. Quick, easy move, and then it pulls back and tests the line again and turns down. This is a really big bar. Um, I don't know if I would have used a stop way down here. You probably would want to try to use a limit order, and you would have gotten filled right here at the end, maybe a tick back into it. Either way you entered it, it would have worked, but I think it's a little risky to enter on a stop down here. I think you wanted to try to get a limit order or a tick or so back and get a little better entry, or maybe skip that trade. And there's actually another second entry short. It's not really a second entry short, but there's a failed second entry long there. But now we've right down here to the lower side of the trend line, so you don't want to be going short in there. I think you're better off just to wait. And you get another second entry short. The second entry actually triggers. Okay, I keep getting a lot of calls about the weather and so forth. But anyway, there's a second entry short, but that's not a very good signal bar at all right there. But when it broke lower, pulled back and gave you another chance, really kind of a second entry off the high. I liked it then. Quick, easy move. I wouldn't say it was real quick. It moved, it turned out to be a good trade, about what you expect. We're working on a retest. That's the first break. We really got the first break here. Then you got your two legs back, and there's actually a little trap right there when that broke higher. But you didn't have enough. Let me show you this. If you move this over to here, you really didn't have enough evidence that this was a strong top here yet when that broke higher. So I don't think you want to go short right there yet. But when you start to get all these matching highs there and it breaks lower again, I liked it then. And then you get and then it bounces. Where does it bounce? Right off this lower trend line. It broke lower first, so you definitely don't want to be going short down in here. If you were short here, it's okay to just kind of ride it out and see what happens if you like. Um, but this got filled, no runners, and then it reverses. I like going long right there. Again, you have kind of a double top there, but you got much more support here, and you've got multiple attempts. Here's your last attempt to push lower, and you got two more, and they fail. And that's a set, two legs down, two measured legs, really. So that's a second entry long, and it's somewhat of a trap right here. So I like that one, the long side. And then, of course, then it looks rangy here. And guess what? It fails out the top, and you get a little tick higher there and fails. So this is, there's a new low, first entry pullback. There's actually a second entry short when it broke below that bar, but I think you were better off to wait and see if you see what it did. And it did break higher and then turn down, so I liked entering there much better. If you entered below that bar, it wasn't a horrible entry. It was a failed break, but with all that support down there, there's too big a chance we could have gone higher. And so I think you were better to wait on that little trap and then go short. And guess what? It bounces right off the trend line again. It's a higher low. We're making higher lows up through here. A little bitty bar, chance to get in way down here. I like that one. And then again, there was an entry right here that you could have taken. Second entry long. Again, that's not a beautiful setup, and there's a bunch of matching highs. So I would have used a limit order here most likely. If you entered on a stop, you'd still be in this trade. 14. Yeah, you'd still be in this trade. If you entered on a limit order, a tick back in, you'd be out now. And that's why, when you don't have a great setup, that's why a lot of times I'll suggest entering on a limit order, because there's not enough room between a stop here and this high. There's a good chance, it finds resistance there. And so that's why you got to kind of be careful and kind of, monitor your entries like that. I wouldn't be surprised if we still don't go higher yet, but wouldn't surprise me if we turn down and trap people and then go higher, or even just turn down and go lower, because this could be an overshoot here. It doesn't look like one now. This is looking more like this is going to be a midline, but you just never know, especially when prices are real slow and choppy like this, and that's really congested looking. So that's another reason to be very careful on your entry right there. But it is a second entry long. There's reasons to like it to the long side, and I'd be surprised if it doesn't work out. If you use the limit order like we discussed, you'd already be out of it. So, and you could exit this one with a tick now, since it's ended as a doji, and sometimes that's a smart move to do. But more times than not, if you exit, it'll go exactly where you thought it would, and if you don't exit, it'll back up and stop you out. So, you never know what to do in those cases. And I usually tell people, just don't monkey with your trade. Just stay with it, and unless you find a reason not to like it, stay with it, and just see what happens. And the only reason that this one was questionable really was just because of all the overlap. Not enough room before the high. There's reasons why you just about, this one's close to being green. I'll leave it blue. But really you wanted to probably enter this one with a limit order. So a tick or so back in. But anyway, that's it for today. It's 12 o'clock now. Looks like it's just going to be a slow, rangy kind of day. And there's really some strong resistance across here. You can see that right across there. I probably would have moved it up to here now. And you can see we're still finding resistance there. But I'm going to wrap it up. This is Mack with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll see you next time.